Shalom. We're going to read Haftarah Vayyeshev, which is part of the book of Amos. If you want to raise your hand or mark up the screen, this is how you do it. Who would like to get us started? Who would like to read first? Eileen, do you want to read?
Yes.
All right, make it happen.
Okay. Ko Amar Adonai al Shalosha Pesha A Israel Be'al uh, Aharab Arab Arba'av
Mhm.
Lo Ashi Benu al mis mi 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 karm
Put it right here.
mi
Mich.
mi ram
Very good. Keep going.
pa kos pakos
You have
oh
two sigils there. Follow
be,
that.
oh okay be no pa kesed
Good. Bakesef. Keep going.
kesed za zar za zadik
Right.
ba ba non
Then it splits right here. Ve'ev yon.
be'evyon ba'arav u
Split here. Ba'a vur
ba'abu
with an R on the end.
ba'arav no ba'avura
We'll work on this in a second. Last word.
na lim
3 syllables.
na alaim
Very good. Na'alayim. Na'alayim. Good. This word right here has 2 syllables. We know because there's a full vowel here and a full vowel there. Don't count any of your reduced vowels when you're counting up the syllables. That's kind of my recommendation for the best practice when you're reading. And then figure out whether those reduced vowels begin the syllable or end the syllable, and then from that determine whether it's going to be like a silent schwa or an audible one. But all that to say is that I would pronounce this as ba'avur. Ba'avur.
ba'avur.
Exactly, ba'avur. Wow, that was excellent reading, Eileen.
Thank you.
That was very, very good. Well done. All right, let's see. Ko amar Adonai על שלושה פשעי ישראל ועל ארבעה לא אשיבנו, על מכרם בכסף צדיק ואביון בעבור נעליים. All right, so where's the halfway point of this verse, anyone?
Ashivenu.
Amen.
Because of this right here. Let me switch over to orange. I like orange.
Atna.
The etna right there tells us that this is the halfway point. Very good. And then from there we can split it even further, maybe into quarters. Where?
Yosef Tzaddik is the last one.
And Israel.
Omar Adonai.
El And in fact, there's one right there. So it's not really quarters, but it's subdivisions. Yeah. So when we go to analyze this verse, we've now broken it up into smaller pieces, and that makes it easier for us to analyze. Ko amar Adonai. Where's the verb?
Amar,
Mm-hmm.
to say.
Exactly. But it's a 3ms katal, so he said, thus the Lord he said, or thus he said, that is the Lord did. But that sounds funny, so they just simply say, thus says the Lord. All right, that's a full sentence. Now let's go on to the next one. Al shlosha pish'ei Yisrael. Well, that's not a complete sentence. There's no verb. I could waste our time and say, where's the verb? Let's scratch our heads. No, it's not there. The verb is all the way down here. And so we're supposed to apply it both to this phrase or clause and to this clause. And so all of this is just a prepositional phrase. How do I know that?
There's no verb.
Starts with all.
It starts with
All.
al. Exactly. It starts with a preposition. Very good. And every preposition is supposed to have a prepositional object. Remember, prepositions show the relationship between two objects. So it needs objects. So al, where's my object? Here it is. Shlosha pish'ei Yisrael. Is this a construct chain? Answer carefully.
Yes. Pishei Israel.
Pish'ei Yisrael. Very good. Pish'ei Yisrael is a construct chain. This is this ends in a tzere yod, so it's the Pish'ei transgressions of Yisrael, Israel. And then, so what's the Shlosha doing out here?
It's an
That an
adjective of
adjective?
piché.
It's just telling us how many Pish'im there are. How
Mhm.
many transgressions are there? Shlosha. Is it masculine or is it feminine?
Masculine.
Yeah,
Masculine.
numbers are really annoying like that, aren't they? It looks like it's feminine, but it's actually masculine. All right, so this is the masculine form because pish'im, or psha'im, is masculine. Al shlosha pish'ei Yisrael. And now we get another
All.
prepositional phrase. V'al arba'a. And for four, what?
Piché Israel.
Yeah, very good. So not
Okay.
only do we have an ellipsis with the verb saying, hey, the verb is applying to this as well, but we also have something of an ellipsis for the prepositional phrase, and we do this all the time. And because of four transgressions of Israel, lo ashivenu. All right, this is going to be the most fun, perhaps, to parse out. Anyone want to take a jab at it?
Ashiv is a yiktol.
Okay.
Yiktol kal.
Yiktol, kal binyan,
Yeah, shuv is the root.
shuv.
One CS.
Shuv is the root. It is
One
first
CF.
person common singular because of the aleph.
Right. It is pausal, so you're going to have some change. Hashivenu. You could confuse it for
One
us.
CP.
All right, so it does not have a 1CP suffix.
Right.
Okay.
But while this is on an etnachta, and we should expect pausal forms, just want to let you know that the pausal form here, it looks the same. Well, does it? Is it a tzere? Maybe it would be I don't know if the vowel would be different, but it would sound the same. Ashivenu. Okay,
This is object suffix, the new.
say it one more time, Tuesday.
Is new an object suffix?
Yes. Okay, so we do have an object suffix here. What do we do with this suffix enu? And I'm purposely going because there's a dagesh in the noon.
Is it an energic noon or a
You got it. You got it. Okay, so energic noon is one that shows up in a yiktol verb with an object suffix. Okay, that's the only. Let me make sure that's correct. Yes, that's the only time energic noon shows up. If there's some other noon, then we give it a different name, like paragogicum, paragogic noon. No, this is energic. Um, Apparently in Semitic languages, by sticking the noon in a verb like this, it changed the flavor of the verb, or at least historically, it changed the flavor of the verb a little bit so that it made it, like more certain. Most of your grammars will tell you that this fell out of use long, 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 long ago. And by the time we get to biblical Hebrew, it doesn't mean that anymore. I haven't seen the receipts for that. I'm not really sure how they draw that conclusion, and other than just context in the Bible. So I'm a little hesitant to jump on board that ship and say, oh, yeah, it doesn't mean anything anymore. I don't know. That was thousands of years ago. Maybe it did. Anyway, so energic has this idea of like movement, moving of some kind. Well, that's the idea, is that by putting the noon in there, it adds energy to it somehow. It makes it more certain, perhaps. So maybe it would be possible to translate this as not just I will cause to turn or I will turn away, but maybe it would be more like I will certainly turn away. Well, don't forget about the low
Oh,
in the front. That makes a big difference. And then the enu, if we break it up, should be something like en hu, where the hey gets lost into the noon, shows up as a strong Vayesh.
No.
So the who is our object suffix. It is not a 1CP, but rather a
One
Sure.
C.
no.
Third
Who? What is
masculine
who?
singular.
Right. So who is a third masculine singular? It, him, right? Because
It.
there is no it in Hebrew, so everything is either
Israel.
a he or a she, and so we need to know what it's referring back to. Well, maybe we have to go back up into maybe a previous verse in Amos. And but off the top of my head, I don't remember what exactly this 3ms refers back to. It can't be transgressions because that's plural. And Israel, if we're talking about Am Yisrael, people of Israel, that would be 3ms because people is a singular collective word in Hebrew. But if it's talking about land of Israel, well, then that's feminine, right? Eretz Yisrael is feminine. So maybe it's the people of Israel. Yes. Um, let's see. So because of 3 transgressions of Israel and because of 4, Aleph would be I will. Sorry, I will, lo, not. It's Hephil. You said it's Kal, it's Hephil.
Ah,
How do you know it's Hephil?
Lehashiv, yeah.
Right, exactly. Because if the root is shuv and we don't see the vav, and we see the hirik yod of Hephil, and that makes it Hephil. Interestingly, we lost the kamats, the ah vowel. Well, we lost the full vowel under the aleph because the stress got moved down too far. So the only indication that we have that this is a he feel is the hirik yod and context. So I will cause shuv, something to turn. The noon, as I said, probably means surely, certainly, unless it became meaningless. And then the who is the 3ms referring to what it is that God certainly will not turn away. Questions?
I've never heard of a suffix object before.
Suffix object, well, I imagine you have, and think of prepositions like al just means on. But if I
Yeah.
say alecha, well, that's actually an object suffix. It's a pronominal suffix. It has 100 different names, so pick one. But the cha is a pronominal suffix, pronoun suffix, suffix object. All of those are synonymous. And let me think. When else do we say? Oh, possession, right? If something belongs to me, we'll use the classic example of Seuss. a sus is a horse. If I say it's my horse, it would be susi. And so the E sound at the end is a possessive suffix or kind of an object suffix on a noun, which shows possession, but they're all the same. They're pronominal suffixes. And
An object suffix is a pronominal suffix?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
The only difference, well, let me put it this way. An object suffix shows up on verbs. The subject of the verb is built into the verb, like the yiktol prefix or the katal suffix, that tells you who the subject of the verb is. But Hebrew will go one step further and potentially add an object suffix, so you know not only who did the action, but who received it. So that's what I mean by object when I say object suffix. So you can have the subject, the verb, and the predicate all built into one word in Hebrew. Pretty cool, huh? That's a terse language.
Gary, can you explain that new suffix one more time?
The new stuff, it's
Yeah.
actually enu. I did circle just the new, but I should have circled enu. The enu, if split up, would be the noon here would be the energetic noon, and then the who is the 3ms suffix, object suffix. And what Hebrew did is because hey is a soft letter, it got swallowed up by the previous letter, resulting in a strong dagesh, letting us know that something went missing. This is not different than how he feels swallows up the hay, or how the definite article swallows up the hay when there's a preposition in front of it. Or well, I don't know if I can include that one. Oh, the also in hitpael, right? If you have a yiktol hitpael, where's the hay? It gets swallowed up. So all of these have the same behave according to the same principle. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
What does new mean in pronominal suffix?
If we're
Us?
if we're talking about just a plain old new without a dagesh, then it definitely is one CP. It refers to us.
Yes.
But with that dagesh in there, it clues us in that something else is happening here, and that's why we're having this big long discussion about energic noon. It looks like us, but that dagesh says no, it's an energic noon and a different who suffix. Hey. And you can get the same thing happening with enna, if that's okay for me to clear the screen here. Enna, like this, could be or would be a combination of that energic noon plus, can anyone guess it? Ha, where this is referring to the 3fs pronominal suffix. All right. Now let me flip the question. What would an energic noon with a 1 CP suffix look like? Take an energic noon and add a 1 CP suffix. What would it look like? Same thing as earlier. So
You can't
frustrating.
put two dageshes into a letter.
Well, the noon of the new suffix combines with the noon of the energic noon, so it looks identical to our enhu from earlier. This is now ennu, but in the end, they're pronounced the same. Ennu.
Because there's no hay in a
There's no hay and there's no new. Yeah. Let's see. Are there? Oh, you can also get an energic noon with a 2 masculine singular. That's pretty common. What would that look like? Here, let me show you what it's not first. Anybody ever seen echa? Of course, susecha, your horse. Of course, yeah. But if there's an energic noon in there, then what would it look like? Put your dagesh in there, and it becomes ekka, because the noon and the kaf assimilate. The noon assimilates into the kaf, and it becomes ekka. Anybody ever heard of
Shema
Bishuneka.
Israel.
yeah,
Bishuneka as well, right?
there it is.
Bishuneka.
Vichoneka. Very good. In the
Yeah,
priestly
yeah, yeah.
blessing, Vichoneka has a dagesh in it. And I guess we can go over there real quick and just
Uh-huh.
see it.
That's
Was that
why.
Numbers 6? Is that right? 20,
Yeah, 622
620. Okay.
numbers. 23, 20, 24,
here it
yes.
is. Here it is. In verse
Yabarach
25. All
Adonai
right. What I'm going to do
Vishmerecha.
is I'm going to make it really, really big so that you can see. Well, there we go. Does
Yarech.
anyone see the
Mhm.
dagesh hiding behind that cough right there? This typeface is a little
Yes.
messed up, but you can see something kind of
Yeah.
poking its head out up above that kamat. That's a dagesh. That's an energetic noon. Now that is the energetic noon is not in the preceding noon. Why is there a dagesh in the preceding noon? Different question.
It's a dual. It's an ayin.
It's right. It's a geminate.
Hanan.
It's a geminate root. Het nun nun. So the nun is
So, Hanan.
Hanan. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like think of Hananya. I guess
Hanan,
Hanan. Yeah, Hananya. Hananiah, or whatever it's pronounced. And so it shows the two nuns of the root. But if we go into a morphological code, let's see, will it show us this? Let's see, let me turn on, where's the morphological codes? Come on. Ah, there we go. And which one? Oh, that's really complicated. There it is. The E right there, energic noon, is built into it. And that's the dagesh telling us that there must be an energetic noon in it. Oh, and by the way, this is also jussive. Anyone want to tell us what the word jussive means?
Yeah, Volative.
Say it again. It means what?
Volative.
Volative,
Like
right.
the third or second imminent person.
Right. So translated as let him or may he.
Let him, yeah.
Right, exactly. It's volative. We want that he do this. Very, very good. All right, let me go back to where we were. Well, that's over here. Okay. If there are no more questions there, we can move on to the rest of the verse. And the prophet slash God, right? God is the one saying. So let's say God is the one who says, he starts enumerating the transgressions. Here's the first one. And here's the second one. Al michram bakesef tzadik ve'evyon ba'avor na'alayim. All right. What is michram? Is that a miktal form?
It's mechar is to sell.
Nobody took the bait, huh? Okay, good. Machar with a kaf is to sell. Right, correct. And
There, it's a pronominal suffix. Michram.
right, belonging to them. Or I'm sorry, not belonging to. If it's a verb, that makes it an object suffix. So they are the ones
They were sold.
Receiving the action. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he sold them, right?
Well, hang on. I have a question. If he sold them, wouldn't it be let's see, maharam? Yeah, it should be
Michram.
Is it?
Is that a price then? The price of them?
Ah, okay. So we need to figure out if this is a verb, a noun, or something else. What are we going to do? We're going to run over to the morphological codes, right? See if we can find it showing up anywhere else in the Bible. I have an idea of what it is, but I don't want to say it until I have a confirmation. So let's go to, well, let me get this. Oh no, scooch down, please. There we go. Turn on the compare, go to Amos 2:6. And here's the word michram. Come on, show us the wonder if I have to click on this. There we go. Yep, there it is. There it is. There it is. This is calling it a kal verb infinitive construct with a third masculine plural suffix. Infinitive construct. Of course it is. Of course it is. All right. I was actually going to say an infinitive construct because we know the al requires a noun, right? Prepositions require an object. So this has to be a noun. And the tells us that it belongs to them. So the question becomes, then what is michr? Oh, what's that? Apparently it's the infinitive construct of machar. Machar. Michram would be their selling. Not that they are doing the selling, but that the selling is being done to them, therefore it's theirs. Al michram bakesef tzaddik. Michram bakesef seems pretty clear. They're being sold bakesef with, this is going to be like a instrument, instrument. Is it called instrumental? How is it called? Instrument. Anyway, it's the noun is an instrument. I think it's an instrumental. How is it done? Kesef, with silver. And who's the one that's, I guess, being sold? The tzaddik,
Sadiq.
righteous one. Oof. Oh. Oh. The is not the ones who are being sold. It's the ones who are selling. Because the tzaddik is the one
So
who's
that's the
sold.
subject.
It's technically an object. It's a pronominal suffix. So you have to try to figure out whether it is the action that belongs to them or whether they are the ones receive. Okay. There we go. I've got it now. So if we have a verb with an object suffix, dang it, I just gave the answer. If we have a verb with a pronominal suffix, what is it? Grammatically, it's the object. It's what receives the action because the subject is built into the verb. But if we have an infinitive construct with a pronominal suffix, is that the object?
It's a noun, isn't it?
Right. Infinitive construct is a noun. Very good. So the pronominal suffix on a noun shows possession, ownership. Yeah. So if it's my action of doing XYZ, then who's the one that did it? Well, I. And if it is their action of machal, it means they're the ones doing it. They're the subject, or they're the possessor of that action. So let's call it a possessive pronominal suffix. Their action of selling or silver, a tzaddik. Oy, oy, oy. And just a tzaddik? No, let's keep going. Ve'evyon. The poor, the needy. Ba'avor na'alayim. In exchange for, right? Aval is to pass something. So avul is kind of like in passing or in exchange for. Na'alayim, shoes. Sorry, brother. The shoes are more important than you are. Bye. Jeez. Terrible. Terrible, terrible sentence. Okay, so we determine this is the infinitive construct and that this is the possessive suffix saying they who own the action of selling. And this over here is the object. And how was it done? Here's the, I guess, instrument. Yeah, I forget the word for it. Instrument by which it was done. All right, questions?
So how did you translate mihram?
Their action of selling.
Their action of selling.
They're selling.
They're selling.
And of course, that's hard to understand. So the translation simply says, they sold the righteous for money. Sober.
Thank you.
All right. If that's it, who would like to read the next one? Anatoly, do you want to
I
read?
can
Have
do.
your hand up? I think Anatoly had his hand up for a while.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. השואפים על עפר ארץ בראש דלים בדרך ענבים
Anavim.
ענבים יטו באיש באביר ילכו אל הנערה למען חלל אל שם קדושי.
Kodshi. Kodshi. Very good. All right. So now we're getting a couple more transgressions. Hashoafim al afar eretz berosh dalim. This nearly, when I read this in the past, this nearly made me cry. Hashoafim, the ones who are panting and longing for what? Afar eretz, for dust of the earth? What a silly thing. A dust of the earth that's like worthless, right? Which dust of the earth? Berosh dalim, on the head of the poor. I mean, like, it's not a jacket, it's not shoes, it's not something fancy that they want that belongs to the poor. It's the dust of the earth that's on the head of the poor. Gosh, you can't get any lower than that. V'derech anavim yatu. The way of the
Mhm.
I'm back.
Yeah,
Welcome back
Very-
from the big thaw.
it's about
It's really a shame.
About
I've been having so much
dust of earth.
Speak up,
much
please,
trouble with my
Jared.
yeah, I've been having so much trouble with my internet. I'm really getting frustrated by this. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now we can.
All right, my apologies. Get back over
No worries.
here. Okay, so after, these terrible people are panting after the dust of the earth that's on the head of the poor, they're also causing to be askewed or turn aside or incline or decline or tilting or twisting or skewing the path of the meek, or possibly the afflicted. It's Has anyone ever heard what do you all say is the meaning of Bethany, the city Bethany or town Bethany?
Beit Anya, the house of the poor.
Right, house of the afflicted. There are
Yeah.
some later interpretations that it actually means something like house of figs. I don't know how they come up with that, but I guess
Funny.
it's not as unflattering as house of the afflicted. Hey, where do you live? I live at the house of the afflicted. Oh, you poor soul. Who knows? But that Bethany, Ani, is probably related to this root right here, Ain Nun Vav, which becomes Ain Nun Yod, whatever. The Anavim. Yatu, what is the root of Yatu?
Nate?
Right, Nun Tet Yod, which has to do, like I said, with leaning, inclining, declining, skewing, tilting. So if you're tilting someone's way, it means that you're doing something bad. This is the same verb that's used for skewing justice in the Torah.
Perverting, like turning
Right,
aside
perverting.
from.
Yes, exactly. Twisting it. Not I shouldn't say twisting, but tilting it one way or the other. I just imagine someone, lifting up on the scales at the grocery store to try to get a better deal. They're tilting it in their favor. That sort of a thing.
Oh.
The ish va'aviv. Okay, it's going to get a little X-rated here. The ish va'aviv, a man and his father, yelechu el hana'ara. The idea is that both the man and the father are having relations with a single female. That's
A
not
young
allowed.
one too.
That's not allowed in the Torah. And yeah, and because it's na'ara, yeah, it implies that she is young. Correct. Lema'an, for the sake of halel. Now this is not halel because the root halel means praise. What is the root halel? Profane. It probably is. It might be related to the root that means to dig or bore into something, like lihatchil, but that's a bit of, I don't want to say speculation. I guess it's a related root is how they call it in the dictionaries. So if you're like digging into something and crunching it up as you go, you're profaning, you're messing it. Stop. Well, this is halel. You're profaning what? Et Shem Kodshi. The name. Now, you see how they translate it here, right? My holy name. Question: is Kodesh a noun or an adjective?
It's a noun.
Yeah.
A
So I
noun.
would
Adjective
much
normally.
It's
rather,
another noun. It's in construct.
right. So I would much rather translate this if it makes any difference. I'd much rather translate it as profane the name of my holiness,
Yeah.
Ah, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
as
yes.
opposed to
Exactly.
simply my
Mm,
holy name.
yeah. Mhm.
Now, what is the name of my holiness if the my is Yod He Vav He, God? Well, remember that Shem is not just a label you stick on something, is it? It's the reputation
Mhm.
or authority built into one's identity.
Essence of a person.
Right, yeah. It's like the name encapsulates or at least labels or refers to the essence of an individual, of a being. All right. If there are no questions, I'll move forward.
So
I have a
the
question.
2 questions.
Shem Kaddishi, that the he is a noun,
Please speak into
it's
the
a
microphone.
noun,
Say again. Oh yeah, Kodesh.
Kaddishi,
Kodesh
my
is the noun.
holiness.
Kodesh. Is my internet acting up? Kodesh is the noun. And when you add a pronominal suffix to it, then the holam
Yes.
loses the stress. You're with me? Am I with you?
Mhm.
Okay. So the
Yes,
Kodesh,
yes, yes.
Yes.
Kodesh, as soon as you add the pronominal suffix, now this holam is in a
Yes.
closed, unstressed syllable, so it becomes kamatz katan, kodshi. But it's the word Kodesh, which is a seglet.
Yes.
It is a noun through and through.
Mhm.
It is a noun through and through.
So that's pronounced code she.
Kodshi, with a pronominal
Mhm.
suffix e at the end.
So if you
My
pulled it out of construct, it would be like Shem HaKodesh Sheli
Yes,
if you were doing it like
correct.
pulling it out
Right. If you wanted to,
and
yes,
it's
precisely. Yes, yes. It would be et Shem Hako, yeah, et Shem Hakodesh Sheli. Correct. And then you would have to know whether the Sheli is pointing to the name or pointing to the holiness.
and
I thought someone else had a question. Is
I
there
had
one
a
of them?
question.
Yes, Voldane, go ahead.
It's a silly one, but at normally means with. So how does that fit in with the makaf? I think it's called makaf with the sham kosh.
Well, actually, et has 2 homophones. There are 2 words that are both spelled et. In standalone form, they have a tsere. In construct form, they have a segol, but there are 2 different words et. So while you are correct that
Mm.
as a preposition means with, there's another et that is the direct object marker. They look the same, but they are completely different meanings. And in fact, there's a really good argument to be made that they actually come from 2 different roots. One of them comes from, I think, something like Aleph Vav Tav, and the other one comes from like
Mhm.
Aleph Vav Yod, or possibly
Mhm.
Aleph Tav Yod or Vav or something like that, so that the Tav is the second rather than third root letter. But the point is, they look the same in this form.
Is it because
Mhm.
makaf? Why you know it's a direct margin of? I think it's called makaf. The
Uh,
dash.
Right. This guy right here is called the makef, correct? Makaf, makef. It is telling us that these two words are syntactically being treated like one. So because of that, we're getting a segol here instead of a tsere. But whether there's a makef or not, both of the words et with and et direct object marker will look the same, either with a tsere if there's no makef, or segol with a makef. So the only time that we can tell the difference between those two words is when there's a pronominal suffix. So let's take, for example, name is masculine singular. Let's put a masculine singular subject, or let me say that again, a masculine singular pronominal suffix on each of these two words, et and et. If it's a direct object marker and we put a pronominal suffix, 3ms suffix on the end, what does it become? Does anyone know?
Otto.
Very good. Oto.
Oto, yeah.
Oto. Just like that. And if you put a pronominal suffix on this one over here, what does it become?
Ito.
Notice that this one has a dagesh.
Mm.
This one has a
Mm.
dagesh. It's probably
Okay.
because there's some root letter that's probably collapsing in, whereas the one over on the left does not have a root letter that's collapsing in. And I don't want it. In fact, I'm not really qualified at
Okay.
the moment to speculate what the two roots are, but I looked it up ages ago.
Mm.
They appear to have two separate roots. I used to think that they were one and the same word, and then Hebrew just reassigned the usage of et to become the direct object marker, and that was myopic of me. I shouldn't have done that. Turns out it comes from two completely unrelated words. Does that answer everyone's question? At least well enough.
Wonderful.
All right, who would like to read next? Thomas, did you
I
say you
can.
want to?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
please.
Okay, okay. ועל בגדים חבולים יטו אצל כל מזבח what? ויין, I don't know why, ויין אנושים ישתו בית אלוהים. אלוהיהם.
Elohim, very good.
But
Right.
what is a VA?
Oh, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Patience, patience, patience. Va'al begadim. Okay, so it looks like we're still talking about the various transgressions, right?
Yes.
Va'al begadim havulim
Oh, Habulim.
yatu.
Yes. Oh.
All right, havulim. It is plural. What is havul? Anyone? It's
Something that has been pledged.
very good. It's a passive participle. Something has been done to the garments. It has been pledged. The al begadim havulim, on garments that have been pledged. Yatu. Wait a second. What was yatu? We had it earlier.
Yeah.
To pervert or turn aside.
Or decline or incline. Or so here, because
lay down.
Yeah, they're lying down. So you get to see the parallel between perverting justice and lying around on someone's pledged garment that they're supposed to give to the poor person before the sun goes down, lest they call out to God and terrible things happen to that person.
They don't care.
Remember that passage in the Torah? If you have taken a garment in pledge, make sure to return it by nightfall so he's not cold at night. That's what it's referring to. And so they're lying around on pledged garments instead of giving it back. Etzel kol mizbeach. Oh, this is just insult on injury. Etzel kol mizbeach. What is a mizbeach?
Altar.
It's the slaughter
Where you
place.
sacrifice things.
Exactly. It's the tool or means by which you sacrifice to either God of Israel or some other god. So it shows piety, and the question becomes: Is this Yod He Vav He Adonai's altar, or is this other God's altar? because
Mhm.
that can go two very different directions very quickly. But the irony is that they're lying around on a pledged garment. They're being pious while doing it. Oh, but we don't know whether it's actually God's Mizbeach. It could be somebody else's. So it quickly
Mm.
flips back to, you're being a terrible, terrible person. It's just like one
Mhm.
thing after another. You think about the history of Israel, how many times it emulated its neighbors and worshipped other gods. So maybe. V'yen anushim yishtu. Oh boy. You remember in the Torah where you're not supposed where the priests are not supposed to drink alcohol when they're near the when they're going to go and service the altar and do their regularly performed tasks. So here they have the wine, some kind of a wine that they're drinking next to etzel, next to every altar, but it's not just plain old wine. It's in construct right here. It's not yayin, it's yen. Yen. It's wine of
Ah,
anushim. Okay.
okay.
Get
Any,
condemned.
anybody ever heard the song Yonatan Hakatan
Yes.
Ratzba Boker El Hagan Utipes Al Ha'etz Efrochim Kipes. What is it? I'm trying to get to the point where he basically ripped a hole. This little boy was climbing trees. He coming home from school. He's climbing trees looking for little birds, and he rips his a hole in his pants. And then the last part that I'm getting to, and then he received his punishment. What did he receive? His onesh. That
Punish.
onsho kibel. He received his onesh. So onesh is some sort of um,
Okay.
punishment, I guess. Yeah.
Oh,
And so anushim is another passive participle.
Mhm.
Yes.
Anush.
Mhm.
So it is the one who has been punished or
Punished.
condemned, right? The wine of the condemned. What did they steal the wine from somebody who already had tons of problems? What do the proverbs say to give wine to the one who has problems? Remember? The one who has problems it's literal. The proverbs are like, give it to him. He's got all kinds of problems. Maybe it'll help him and ease his writhing, his his problems or whatever. But anyway, the point is that's kind of a grace. I don't know how you all are on alcohol and drinking and all that, but I'm just saying in the Bible, and someone who is suffering, if there's something you can do to lighten their suffering, you should do it. And so in Proverbs, they're like, yeah, give him wine. Poor guy. Not to the point of drunkenness, obviously, but cheer him up, I guess. So whoever this condemned is doesn't have his wine anymore. They, who are lying on garments next to every altar, are drinking it for him.
Mm.
Yeshtu.
Mhm.
These are just some people, huh? So where are they doing it? Bet Elohehem. There's the answer from earlier. Are they being pious? Etzel kol mizbeach. Well, the fact that it says kol mizbeach and ya, Yod He Vav He only has one mizbeach, we already know that the context implies they're going to every mizbeach. They are not being pious.
Mhm.
Now here it's just confirmed. Bet Elohehem. The house of their God. Well, God's not referring to himself here. He's not saying that these people are referring to him as being their God. It seems like, ooh, over there. So it must be
Mhm.
another God. Or possibly plural, right? The word Elohim technically is plural. So if we already have kol mizbeach, that's already more than one mizbeach. So this is probably plural. Should be of their gods.
Mm. Mm. What's this? Oh.
Question.
Question?
Yes. V'yein, v'yein anushim. Why is that definite? That construct change.
What was the question?
The question
Tuesday?
is why, how is this right here a definite? Oh, I shouldn't put the vav. Why is this right here a definite construct? And the standard answer should be that if it is definite, then the last word of the construct chain, anushim, should be definite. It should have either a ha in front or it should have a pronominal suffix in the end, and it does not. So should this be definite? Well, let's try it out. Let's take this out. And how would you read this? Wine of condemned ones they drink. That's probably a better translation.
Mm-hmm.
And that would actually capture or encapsulate the plural, the masculine plural here, the wine of condemned ones, those who are condemned. But rather than saying the wine of condemned, which sounds silly in English, they put in the to make it sound better. So technically, no, it's not definite. But now that I've said that, let me just clarify that in poetic texts, sometimes of which the prophets are included, and certain niceties like definite articles will simply be omitted because it's poetic. So you have to use discretion about whether the author is intending definiteness or not. It's not necessarily going to have those niceties like definite articles or even prepositions or what other particles could be missing? Definite direct object marker, maybe sometimes question word. Basically, in poetic text, you're missing a lot
Yeah.
more. The text is more terse. So a couple of things to weigh there, but excellent question.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Who shall be reading next?
I'll read.
Please go ahead.
Noki Hishmati at Ha A Mori Meep Ne He Hem Asher Ke Gava Arazim Gav Hor Vehason Hu Ka'alonim Ve'ormid Pir Yor Mim Mal Ve Sha Ra Sha Shav Meet Tahat.
Excellent. Mitachat. Just tell you what, let me give you an opportunity to reread this. What is this word right here?
Va'ash read.
Perfect. Yes. V'anochi hishmadti. Is this easy to pronounce, both a d sound and a t sound?
Madeti.
Yeah, it feels like you're hitting a brick wall, right? Hishmadti. So in modern pronunciation, this will necessarily have something of a little bit of value here. Hishmadti. But I do want to clarify that's probably not how the Masoretic scribes pronounced it. I would like to present, Your Honor, the artifact A. We have, or no, exhibit. Exhibit A. There's a dalet. I should call it Exhibit D, shouldn't I? There's a dalet with no dagesh in it. So historically, how was it pronounced? V. V. Kind of like the TH in this or that. So it should have originally been Hishmavti, which is a lot easier to pronounce. Hishmavti. But modern pronunciation, or specifically Sephardic pronunciation, and therefore by extension modern pronunciation, doesn't do this anymore. So therefore it requires to put a little bit of a vowel sound in here. Hishmadti. Hishmadati.
Yes, it's
And
easier.
right.
Yeah.
Va'anochi hishmadti et ha'emori mipnehem. What is hishmadti? What? How do we parse it out?
It's a he feel.
He
Is it a he feel?
first common singular?
Good. So the T is first common singular. The hey, chirik is he feel, and then shamad is the root.
Matah.
I destroyed. I caused something to be ruined. I destroyed et ha'emori, the Amorite, mipnehem, before them. Asher kegovah arazim govho.
Govho.
Govho. This is a kamatz katan because the word govah has a holam, and here with the pronominal suffix, it loses stress, goes down to kamatz katan, but it's the same word. Gova, gova, govho.
Ah, cool.
I want to know, what is this O referring back to?
Amori.
Very good.
Amori. The Amorite.
The Amorite. So the Amorite that, like the height of Arazim, is or was Govho, his height.
Mhm.
V'chason. This is an A-O. Is that, what part of speech is A-O?
participle. No. Because
The
Not
stated.
participle.
strong.
Okay, so I've heard participle. I've heard stative.
Participle is OA.
Right, participle is O-A, like
Alright,
ko,
yes,
tel. Stative, there are some A-O statives, but there aren't many of them. And most of the statives have A-E, katel,
But
or
what's absolute, infinitive absolute?
Mm.
good. I like where you're going. So katol is another stative. And
Mhm.
infinitive absolute is A-O, katol. So that's the same as this,
Kadosh.
right? Cheryl, expound.
Well, he was a strong one, or hold on. Can that be a noun? The strong,
Keep going.
like the height.
Here, how about this? How about this one? Yarok, kahol.
Yeah, you
Boom.
talked about that
Yeah,
last
it was
week.
last week. So there's also an adjective that has the
Adjective.
O pattern. All right, so that means we have 3 different things that this could be. Very rare, but it could be a stative call.
Mhm.
I should say stative katal. Well, no, I'll say call because it could be an I'm not going to say that. Stative call or an infinitive absolute or just an adjective. Like usually some kind of state of being adjective. So which one is it here? Any guesses? Hasonhu. Hasonhu. No guesses? Boy, you have a 33%, actually less than, you have a 50-50 chance of getting it right. What, am I frozen? Is nobody able to hear
It's
me?
No.
He's tired.
I'm
Kal
dying.
infinitiv. Absolute. Can be?
No,
I
adjective.
think.
Katol.
Surely he was strong.
I would say
Yo.
that it's not a call infinitive absolute.
No.
How are infinitive absolutes used in the Bible?
We
Basically
will go
3
with
different ways.
adjective.
Say again?
3.
Yeah, I would say there's 3 ways it's used.
Pathological.
Okay, so there's the tautological. What does that fancy word mean?
Emphasis.
Sure,
Emphasis.
like
Exactly, emphasis. Okay, that's option one. What else can it be?
An adverb.
Yeah. Well, I guess the tautological is an adverb because you're adding emphasis saying how it was done. Certainly it was done. How about language of the law? Shamor v'zachor. Guard and remember the Sabbath, right? That's an infinitive absolute. So it can be, it appears to be used in language of the law as some kind of an imperative in meaning. And then later on in late biblical Hebrew and then post biblical Hebrew, it basically is a catch-all for all verb forms. Rather than saying he guarded or he will guard, it's simply to guard, an infinitive absolute. So I don't know what to call that. Um, uh, ambiguation, maybe. Ambiguous. Anyway, so probably not call infinitive absolute because there's no repetition. It's not tautological. And it's not an imperative. And is it ambiguous? Well, fair. It's not a verb. It's an adjective.
What is number 3? MB?
Okay, ambiguous. So I don't know what
Ambiguous.
to call.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I
thank
don't know
you.
what to call the third one.
Mhm.
If somebody can give me a better title to give that, where Hebrew stops using finite verbs and just uses the infinitive absolutes for everything. I don't know what to call that. Yeah, it is an adjective. Hason.
The strong, can you just say the strong he, and the verb is like understood. He is okay. He is
Do
like.
you, Cheryl, did you happen to do some research and you happen to know that this is an infinitive, excuse me, a stative verb?
You know what I did, and then I'm all stuck here on the chair, and it's
Let me,
sitting up there on the shelf, and I
okay, well
can't
then,
reach it.
then let me just make sure I'm not telling everybody the wrong thing.
Okay,
And I
I'll
thought I
sit.
knew, let's see, where was it?
I'll grab it. I'll
Mm,
do the
oh
deed.
no, go back, go back, go back, back. Where was it? Mitachat. Oh, is this it? Zim Govhova Hason. Eh, it's calling it an adjective.
An adjective
So
masculine
unless
singular
yeah,
absolute.
so unless this is wrong, which is possible, it's calling it an adjective. What I would do is I would look and see other places like where it uses katon or yagor, see if it calls those adjectives too, and if so, then we need to dig a little deeper.
They're calling it stative.
Okay, where are you looking?
I'm looking in the BHS
VHS?
where they have the roots and stuff and the descriptions at the bottom. Good, see in just a second.
Are you serious? The BHS has that?
This is the new one. It's the reader's version, and they have all kinds of
Ooh.
neat stuff. Yeah, you'll want it.
Well,
Uh,
just what I need is another book. Eh.
Hassan. They call it yeah, they call it a noun. They call it a state of an S70, which is a noun, the Hassan, the strong, like
Um,
strong.
well, that's not stative, that's substantive.
Or substantive, not stative, substantive, right?
Okay, all
Right.
right. Now I agree with you. So
Substantive.
substantive is an adjective that's being used as a noun. The
Substantive
strong one. All right.
One question.
Yes, question.
The
adjective.
Bible program before, what's is the name from that?
Oh, this is
This one, yes.
yes, this one is called The Word,
Ah, the
and it's
word.
from
Yeah, I hear
theword.net.
from that, yeah.
And it's got
The word
since
.net.
The
you're in
word.net.
Germany, the first
Okay.
thing I think is it does have all of these different languages that you can use
Ooh.
in, but it's a module-based free Bible software. I think that's awesome. All right, back to
Wonderful.
here.
Question.
Yes, question.
Third, that last word that we were like looking at that was an adjective, is that also a vegetal?
Vekatals are verbs, and this is not a verb, it's an adjective, so the answer is no. And so the vav here is simply a conjunction.
Um,
I don't know what the translator was doing here. And he was strong. That's just no. And he was strong. The he is over here. Chason is the adjective strong, and then the verb is implied.
right.
So this should have been the whole sentence. Chasonhu, strong was he. Ka alonim. Alonim are trees, probably oaks, very strong trees. Va'ashmid, there's that same root from earlier. Is this a yiktol or a vayiktol? Va'ashmid.
Vayeto.
You have to defend your answer. That's correct.
Because it has the Bob in the beginning.
Not just the vav. It's this you're looking at, the kamatz.
The
And because
command.
Garo, Aleph.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. But what I mean to say is that if instead of a kamatz you just had, I don't know, a reduced patach here, va'ashmid, that would
Then
be
it
a
would be
yiktol.
Yictol.
But because it's va'ashmid with a full kamatz, that lets you know it's a vayiktol and therefore narrative past. And I destroyed, yet I destroyed piryo. What is the root of piryo?
Para fruit.
A, right,
Three.
Yod.
You.
Yod. Yod.
Very.
And think of other
Right.
words. Think of other words that have a chirik in them with a pronominal suffix like bit no.
Hmm?
Piryo. Same pattern. So that's probably originally a seglet. But what's the excellent, excellent. Okay. What is the absolute form of piryo? The lexical absolute form.
Perot.
Pri.
That's
What?
plural. That's plural. Give me the singular.
Pri.
Piri.
Pri. Pri.
Pri.
Is that a seglet?
No.
Peri.
Doesn't really look like one, does it?
No.
What would it be in pausal, though?
Pari.
Peri.
Ah. Mm.
So while this
Peri.
does
Okay.
not look like a seglet, the pausal does and the suffix form does. So that tells us that there are certain seglets that
Mhm.
that did something different than most all the others. Schwa and then full vowel, there are a few of those. In fact, Aramaic
Mhm.
tends to do
Ah, it's a
this.
shorten.
It tends to shorten the first vowel
Yeah.
and leave the second vowel long, whereas Hebrew did the opposite, and then ultimately it turned into a seglet.
Mhm.
And so there are other ones like be'er. It probably was a seglet as well. So if you
Mhm.
get some sort of a vav or a yod or maybe aleph, something messing it up, or if there's Aramaic influence, then that seglet will look a little different with a schwa on the front instead of
Mhm.
a full vowel.
It
And
might have been a little bit influenced with Aramaic. Because if it's Amos, it's a book of the prophets and it's in the time of the Babylonian exile.
I like the way you're thinking. The only problem with with that theory is that we see the word pri all throughout biblical Hebrew going well into, like Genesis, and it's very consistently the same. So what I would say is it's actually backwards, that whatever caused Aramaic to do that thing to their seglets, it apparently it had already happened in
Mhm.
well, actually, gosh. Okay, this is speculation. We don't know how Abraham would have pronounced it. All we know is how the Masoretic scribes
Mhm.
wrote it down and preserved the tradition. So who knows? Maybe back in the day, Abraham would have said peri, or he would have said piri,
Mhm.
right? So the original form
Yes.
should have been, let's see, if it were a seglet, then that means the original form should have been something like this, but then add a case ending to it. So maybe
Mhm.
piriu, piriu.
Mhm.
Then when you lose the oo, what are you left with?
Yeah.
The
Piriu, piriu.
Here.
I don't even know how to pronounce that. How would you pronounce piri? Piri. So maybe because of the yod is why Hebrew said, no, we're going to do this a little different. We'll just call it pri.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What part of speech is kalonim? Ka'alonim.
Does anybody have an answer for that?
what was the
part of-
question? I haven't
what
heard.
It's a
part of speech?
preposition before.
Okay, so there's a preposition before.
Yeah, preposition. Yeah.
Masculine.
And
Plus an object.
It's a
It's
plural, so it's alone is the
Yeah.
alone is the noun.
Participle.
Here, what are you all missing?
It's definite.
Definite. So
Yes,
we've got a
definite.
definite
Yeah,
article
yeah.
built into it. And then
Right.
we've got our plural. What part of speech is it?
The
Participle.
Object?
This part.
Yes. It's
three,
what is
three,
Dankeschön.
All right. All right.
plural. It's masculine plural.
Yeah,
Masculine plural.
so it's got to be a noun. The
Yeah.
part of
So
speech.
alone.
Alon is the singular form.
Ach, Elyon.
No,
And
alone.
so
Alone.
Elyon starts with an ayin.
With ayin. Okay.
So
Yes.
this root
Sorry.
has to do with high up, whereas alon has to do with el, alal, strong,
Okay.
mighty,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
So I knew it was a noun. How is it in relation to he was strong?
Like the
Oak
oak,
tree.
or
Like
like the
a-
oaks. Yeah. So it's a prepositional phrase.
It's a prepositional.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
starts with
not
the preposition ka, so it's a prepositional phrase all on its own. Like the oaks.
because he was strong cannot take a direct object, right?
Mhm.
Correct. There's no verb, so it can't take a direct object.
Hmm.
But remember what I said about prepositions, right? Prepositions show you the relationship between two objects. So what two objects are we showing the relationship here between here? It's the who, it's the he, the who, the one that is strong, and the oaks. And how are they related? Ka. Like similar,
Yeah.
metaphor.
Mhm.
So it is a preposition. Vashmid Pirio, and I destroyed his fruit. Mima'al, probably again from the root Allah, up. The ma'al is the stuff that's up, from upward. Visharashav mitachat. You all already know this. In a tree, you have fruit up here, and you have roots down here. So ma'al, fruit. Tachat, sharashav. What is the? I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. I kind of want to go there a little bit.
Wish.
All right, I want to go there a little bit. Do you guys want something a little challenging?
Shorasha?
Is the
All right.
root shorish?
Shorish.
Yeah, the shorish of this word is shorish, exactly.
Yeah.
So the singular form shorish is a seglet,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and so we
Shorish.
can speculate that its original form was shorsh, like this.
Oh.
What does
Okay.
the plural of a seglet usually do? Is what I'm going to get at. But before I do that, I want to ask you
Shim.
about this. When you have stress over
Mhm.
here, will a long vowel right in front of the stress reduce?
Not usually. It's
Not
usually
usually.
long.
Yeah, not
Right?
usually. Will a long vowel that is 2 places away from the stress reduce?
Yes.
Vayyeshev.
Shorashav.
Okay,
It's a
so
kamatz katan.
But it's not
but it's not a closed
close
unstressed
syllable.
syllable. Yeah, exactly. So we're
But
running into an impasse here
Yeah.
because if it's a long vowel, it should have dropped to schwa. But if it's a short vowel, then it should be in a closed syllable.
Yeah.
So which one is it? All right.
Okay.
What is this word here? Kodesh,
Mm-hmm.
right? Kodesh. What is its plural?
Kodashim.
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 All right. This part's easy. This part's easy. The hard part is what do I put under
Kamatz
the
katan.
Chataf kamatz. Normally, I think.
No, kamatz.
Kodashim. Chataf
Reduced
kamatz.
vowel, yeah. So it's an O. Kod,
No,
kodashim.
I think.
Kodashim.
Okay, so you're starting
But
to
we
see
have
what I'm getting. You're starting to
V.
see what I'm getting at. So there are actually 2 options. Sometimes it shows up as or excuse me, it shows up with this vowel, and sometimes it shows up with that vowel.
Ah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But we have a
Which one is
conjunction
it?
before.
All right, now let's bird's eye view. Let's zoom out a little bit. To the Masoretic scribes, was there a difference? Why did the Masoretic scribes use the same symbol for this, and this? I should do that differently.
Yeah, short vowel.
Yeah, sorry,
Kodashim.
my mistake, my mistake. So it should be, there we go. There we go. That's what I meant
Yeah.
to say. All right, why did the Masoretic
Kodashim.
scribes
FF.
use the same symbol for all 3 of these?
Okay.
Why?
They wanted to confuse us.
Yes, exactly. They wanted to confuse. No, it's because they pronounced this one the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably because of this that the Ashkenazi pronunciation has all of those O sounds whenever there's a kamatz. It's not the Torah, it's the Toiro,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not the
Mm-hmm.
Torah. That's the Sephardic pronunciation. In the Ashkenazi, if I can spell Ashkenaz, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
Toiro.
Wow.
So let me show you what's going on here.
Torah.
First off, we have 2 different things going on here. The O sound has a different pronunciation in the Ashkenazi. That's not what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
yes.
But I'm talking about the kamatz right here. In the Sephardic tradition, it's a long ah.
Yeah. It's normal,
In
feminine.
in the Ashkenazi, it has a
Yeah.
long aw, almost like an AW sound.
Yeah.
Okay, so what that means is that to the Masoretic scribe, there was no difference between Kodashim, well, between Kodashim and Kodashim.
Hmm.
This would have
Kodashim.
been a reduced vowel, and whether this was a short vowel or a long vowel doesn't matter. They were pronounced the same. They had the
Yes.
same quality. So we actually don't know whether this should be Shorashav or whether it should be Sharashav. But because it's 2 spaces away from the stress, I would argue that this should be a short vowel,
Oh.
or maybe it should have been a reduced vowel, and the Masoretic scribes just didn't hear the difference, so they just put the
Mm-hmm.
kamatz in there. Who knows?
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
I thought the hataf, the short reduced vowels were only for gutturals. Am I wrong?
Yes, you are wrong. The hataf does show up, especially in older parts of the Bible. It does show up on other letters, but there's a couple of, how do I say this? There's a couple of commonalities among the words that have a hataf vowel in them in early biblical Hebrew. Let me
Mm-hmm.
share those real quick. And let's start with the assumption first that reduced vowels like this should show up under gutturals. I use the letter G to represent aleph, hey, chet, and ayin. This is widely true. So let's start with that. That's the commonality here. We know this is widely true. Gutturals love to have reduced vowels. Now the exception. The older you go, you're going to find it under non-gutturals. It's a G with an X in it. When a guttural is next to it, either before it or after it, or on certain letters that had a guttural quality to them, letters that are called emphatics. What is an
Like,
emphatic? You think of like emphatic, like, I'm being
Emphasize.
very emphatic right now. No, that's actually, it has nothing to do with emphasis in that sense. An emphatic is a letter that has both a non-guttural and guttural quality in its original sound. Does anybody know the original difference between a kaf and a kuf? Today, we say they both have the same sound. It was not originally so. Kaf is pronounced off of the palate of the mouth, ka 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 ka, just like our K. Kuf was not. It was an emphatic. So it was almost like adding a kuf plus an ayin in the same sound. Call. Call. Are there any other emphatics? Yes. Apparently, tzadi, or at least one of the tzadis, was an emphatic. Which one? Fair question. Oh, it actually could be up to 3 of them. It could be tho, vo, and bo. Okay, let me explain that. So tzadi is one glyph, it's one letter, but it originally represented 3 different sounds. One of them was an emphatic tho. One of them was an emphatic. That's not a. That's supposed to be a comma. Sorry. One of them was an emphatic vo, and one of them was an emphatic bo.
That is Arabic more, like Arabic.
Right. So Arabic still preserves the emphatics. Correct.
Yeah,
Hebrew
yeah.
lost them a long time
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
There's one more emphatic. It's well, I say one more. Yeah, I'll go ahead and call it that. Tet. What's the difference between tav and tet? Now you know. Tav is ta ta ta. Het gets the dot underneath it. It was to. Now,
Yes.
because these emphatics have a guttural quality to them, it is not surprising to see a reduced vowel attached to them. So I gave you, and knowingly, I gave you the example of kodashim. Kuf originally was emphatic, so it gets a reduced hataf vowel. But there are other places that don't get where a non-guttural gets a reduced vowel. But I noticed that maybe a letter next door is a guttural. Maybe that influences it. Are there any examples of a non-guttural getting a reduced vowel and there is no guttural next door? Yes, of course. The Bible is a huge corpus. Yes, you can find examples of that, but they are very rare. So what is that then? Well, I think it has something to do with how Shva is a later invention, if I can put it that way. And how can I say this? There was a there appears to have been a dialectic shift from however Hebrew was originally pronounced to pronouncing it at the front of the mouth with a lot of I sounds. So what we see in later biblical Hebrew is that I sounds, which ultimately Shva is somewhat related to, shows up as the standard vowel, whereas the farther back you go, the more likely you're going to see, like ah vowels, which point to the original pronunciation and not the later dialectic shift pronunciation. Okay, so that was a lot of information right there. Did it answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, wonderful. We are out of time. B'shor shav mitachat, and it's pausal. We can tell because it's got a full kamatz instead of a patach. And all right, any comments or questions on the few verses we managed to read? You guys are awesome. Are your brains full?
Yes. A
Wonderful.
little too full.
Wonderful. Eileen, I want to encourage you. You read very, very well earlier. Well done. Whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. See you all next time. I do plan on seeing on providing a class next week. Do I? Let's see. It's Hanukkah, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
14th evening
Okay.
is Hanukkah. But just a sec. The 14th is, yeah, it's a Sunday evening. That's when it starts,
Sunday
right?
evening is the beginning of Hanukkah, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then the
Yes.
14th is also Hanukkah. Oh no. All right, keep an eye out on Telegram. I'll let you know whether or not I'll be available. I might have to go to some Hanukkah parties or something. So just keep an eye out for that. But see you
Okay.
soon enough. Hope you all have a wonderful week. Lehitrot v'shalom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yitzvot
Thank you.
v'shalom.
Shalom.
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 Darabah.